O wisdom of God Most High, guiding creation with power and love, come to teach us the path of knowledge. It has to be said, the young maid, innocent, viewing the world still as the young do, but at the same time and age, knowing all about how birth occurs. In any monastery or convent, the duties of the stables are attended to by the members, more especially if it is a cloistered order, as hers was. She would be well exposed to life's vagaries and death's swift advance. She would know and well understand violence between humans, most especially between cohabitating adults and between nations, wars. She would have spent 6 of her 12 years of life shielded and in study, in closer awareness of the Lord God Almighty, but not ever more than a breath's separation from association with the ills and lows of humanity. Then you have the old priest, estimated 55 to 58 years, who would have lived his life normally as that farmer. Then in his late 30s, his wife, declared barren. He would have applied to the priesthood to gain the extra income of it. Children equaled income, for they allowed you to expand the family business, the farm, the fishery, the exchange fees each year that they would grow until they reached the physical maturity at about 16 years old. So steady increases from the first labours. With no progeny, there would be no business expansion in coming years, nor any additional income from the natural sources. Alternatives must be sought for when you are no longer able to do the full day's physical labour and must pay for it, or sell the family fishery, farm, rent out the land. Thus Zechariah would have been a high priest in the Rota for over 25 years, learning but living life. He is sent a message from God, delivered him by the angel Gabriel himself. The maid is sent a message from God, delivered her by the Lord's angel, the angel Gabriel himself. The maid bows down and replies, "Let it be fulfilled in me, as you have said. Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord." The old man says, "How shall I know this? For I am an old man, and my wife is advanced in years." What kind of a mindless fool says this to the messenger of God? Now, are you quite sure about this? I am an old man, and my wife, well, she is quite ancient. No, only an obstinate old fool would be foolish enough to throw a gift back in the face of the Lord God Almighty and insult his messenger. But that he was allowed to live was down not only to God's love of Zechariah, but to his love of his son, his son's mother, and her beloved cousin Elizabeth, chosen as carrier of the first apostle, the new spirit of Elijah, when Mary's mother, Anne, was chosen to be the vessel to be the mother of his earthly mother-child. God plays a long game. Indeed, planning 42 generations in advance for the birth of his son. Just to give you an idea of the time, 42 generations was over a millennium. So as to carry the royal blood of David, he planned 42 generations. And thus, planning only 24 years ahead for the actual physical impregnation and birth of his son. That was a snap. Preparing the perfect woman to carry the mother. Then having his vessel created without sin, for no stain of sin could ever be upon his son. Then that blessed virgin girl child must be educated, protected, and prepared, so that when the chosen human foster father of the house of David was ready, so was she. 42 generations in advance, he started these preparations. 24 years, he started the final preparations by creating the Blessed Virgin Mary. Her education laid out at the convent. Such a long preparation for a wee child. But that wait is nothing for new parents. And no wait is ever known by the infant, holy or not. They need only lie in their mother's loving arms, knowing safety and warmth and comfort there. Pray God that it could be true for every child. Oh, if only that could be the case. And from his earthly father, this holy child learned and received love, protection, safety, and the understanding that he is the best and only child that matters at that moment in all of the earth for his foster father. Pray that this were true of all men. Pray that they cared for and about and protected their babies as much after birth as they did in the instant of creating them. May the Lord protect the innocent babies and children this and every year. May our love for the newborn Christ child translate into prayers and work to help all children born of a human mother everywhere in the world, to ensure that each child every day has safety from harm, protection from evil and vile governments, sufficient food, water, and medical care, as well as the place to be a child, to play, to laugh, to learn, to grow up, to become one of the Lord's greatest people in history, ending cancer, ending hunger, ending pain, ending poverty, ending child abuse, ending all the ills of the world. If only those children could survive childhood. If only. If only.